I ended up quitting a job in the middle of a team meeting. At the end of the day, a job is a job. At the end of the day, a job is a job. Little did I know that that meant the person who does everything. All this because I was an operations coordinator. They judge me for the cracked screen. Don't be so desperate that it clouds your mind over what kind of contract you're getting yourself into. Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Castellin if you're new, and if you're not, hi, welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be doing my makeup, and disclaimers out of the way straight away. I'm not really good at doing makeup. There will be a lot of mistakes that will make you want to scream, but the good thing is that I'm going to be distracting you with a story time, and that will at least help you not to focus so much on what I'm doing on my face and just listen to the story, because this is a story time about a job that completely changed my brain chemistry. Unfortunately, it took me too long to realize that there were some very important lessons that I should have learned back then, but I was just reflecting on it the other day and laughing about it, and I said, let me give you the tea on that. The viewfinder for the camera is here and there's a mirror here, so I will be looking away because I like looking at myself. Let me just apply some lip balm because I'm from the shower and my lips are pretty dry. Much better. So I'm going to tell you about how I ended up quitting a job in the middle of a team meeting, a weekly team meeting with all the members of the team, including all the bosses. Yes, I ended up quitting. Grab your drink of choice. I have some sparkling water. Sit back and listen to this crazy story. So the year was 2015 when I applied for the position in Nairobi, Kenya. That was before I came to Dubai. I came to Dubai in 2017. So I applied for the position in December of 2015 and I got hired, I think, early 2016. So this job I worked for less than a year. You can see I'm not an expert at this because I'm already talking instead of doing stuff with my hands. First thing I'm going to do is to prime my face. I'm using this baby skin pore eraser. This is by Maybelline. This one is anti-pores. I have very oily skin, sometimes acne prone, but not too much. My pores are definitely visible, so let's see if we can erase them. First of all, I am trained in nutrition and dietetics. That was my major in my university. That's what I have my degree in. While I was still in Kenya, I was fully practicing as a nutritionist dietitian. Most of the jobs I was applying for were in the same field. I had worked another job and then I had done a lot of temporary contracts, consultancy in health and wellness stuff. So I had done a few contracts here and there, which were really good actually, but the problem was there was no sustainability. Other than doing what I was trained in, I also used to write articles on the side. You know which articles I'm talking about. You have not hustled in Nairobi if you haven't written articles. So that was my way of supplementing these jobs that were barely paying enough to get by. I've heard that this works, so you should follow that up with some face powder. This is the Essence banana powder. After putting the primer on my face, I'm just going to dab it with a poof, and then that will be the base for my makeup. It's not supposed to be too much, just a little bit. Let me spread that out, especially focusing on my T-zone. So my contracts had ended, my short-term contracts, they were becoming more and more scarce, and I was so in need of finding a proper, reliable job. Even if they're paying me peanuts, at least it's something that at the end of the month, the peanuts will be there.
A win is a win.
At the end of the month, you'll have your peanuts. Through my group of friends, we had gone to uni together. When you're that young, this is the only way. Either you get referrals from maybe relatives or something like that, or friends that you went to uni with. They went to a place to work and they thought it was really nice, and then they call you. So my friend told me about this job. She was very honest with me. She was like, this employer, you have to handle it with a pinch of salt. You need to have backbone. And what did Castellin not have? Backbone. I didn't have any backbone. I want to do my eyebrows, but that part, my eyebrows need focus. When you have eyebrows like this, mine reach here, and then from this side it's just hopes and dreams. So I'm using the NYX 02 eyebrow gel to do the eyebrows, but I need a bit of focus for that, so I will just stop talking for a quick second and then we will come back through the power of editing. I don't have any special technique for filling in the brows. I literally just follow the shape of the eyebrows, and then once I apply the gel, I comb it through with the brush on the other end, and that's pretty much it. My friend was very honest with me about the employer. She was like, you need to just have a backbone, and at the end of the day, a job is a job. At the end of the day, a job is a job. Lack mentality, but unfortunately we can't get away from it in Kenya, because finding a job, unless you're coming in with a silver spoon, but just finding a job in Kenya, and a good job without any kind of connection or direct influence with the employer, it's very hard. So I was like, whatever comes my way, because I had been applying and tarmacking and all that. I took the referral from my friend and I contacted the lady. The CEO of the company was a lady. CEO of the company. I contacted her and I gave her my CV. I wrote my cover letter and all that, and I sent my details to her. So next thing I'm going to do is to define under my eyebrows. I'm going to be using a bit of foundation and then a bit of concealer. So I just put some foundation on the brush, and then I'm just going to line under the eyebrows. I put too much. Anyway, so she got back to me and she was like, okay, I will interview you for the position. At this point, I still don't know what the position is, by the way. I'm just desperate to get a job, and she was looking for people who are in my field. Imagine sending your CV, but you don't know which job you're asking for. You're just like, just give me any job. Maybe I would have been hired as a cleaner, who knows. I just sent my details and she got back to me and she was like, okay, before I interview you for the position, I need you to complete two things. First thing was a personality survey, personality test, one of those online personality tests. And then the next thing was aptitude test. So those ones that check, I don't know if it's your IQ or something like that. I did the two. She sent them to me via email. I did the two and I sent them back, and then she called me in for an interview. So when I went for the interview, we went over my qualifications, the work that I had done. I had done a lot of work in the health field, those short-term contracts. I was doing basically mobile health management. That color, my goodness. She looked at the work that I had previously done and she was like, yeah, I like what you do and it will gel well with the position. What we're looking for is an operations coordinator. That was the position of the job, operations coordinator. Little did I know that that meant the person who does everything. If the position was looking for a nutritionist, then you know you're going there to do nutrition things. If I'm looking for a salesperson, then you know you're going there to do sales. If I'm looking for HR, then you know you're going to do HR tasks. What is an operations coordinator in a small company? What is an operations coordinator in a small company? I am just smudging and spreading this thing around. So that was the position. We went over the test that I had done online. She was like, I like your personality. After the interview, she was like, okay, Castellin, I like what you're bringing to the table. You got the job.
I don't know what went into that process. I met the criteria to be selected.
So I took on the job. The company was still in the same field. I'm just trying to soften that harsh line from the concealer. But among other things, this company was operating out of a shop. It was a very tiny company, and when I'm saying small company, I'm talking about less than 10 people. Most of the company services were outsourced, so very few employees. There was me, there was the CEO, there was the director directly related to the CEO, and then there was a salesperson and a few other key people here and there who are not like on payroll in the company, but they're working together with the company. Like that's where their loyalties lie. Already from the structure of the company, you can see there's a lot of things that are wrong. So next thing I'm going to do is to put down my concealer. I'm using the Elegant Pro Conceal. I'm going to put my eyeshadow while I wait for the concealer to become tacky. And then a little bit here. And then some on my forehead. Most of what I used to do was, first of all, operate from the shop itself. The shop was selling skincare products, perfumes and stuff like that. That is where I used to sit while I do my operations coordination. Let me just go through everything that I remember that was part of the job description. I was supposed to be a personal assistant to the CEO and the director, salesperson, because I'm supposed to get clients and find contracts for the company, nutritionist. I was doing the one-on-one consultation with some of the clients. I was the social media manager. I used to manage the social media posts for this company. So anything that needs to go out, promotional posts, I think it was Facebook and Instagram only. So I was doing them. I was managing the post, scheduling the post, finding the content to post on that social media page. And then on top of that, I also had to write proposals, and I used to prepare training modules. It was a lot. There was a lot of stuff to be done. And all this, I used to work 6 days a week. So Monday through to Friday. And then on Saturday, I used to work half day. I'm just doing a bit of a darker color on the outer corner of my eye, and then I will do a lighter color towards the inside. I don't prime my eyelids at all. I don't know how that works, because whenever I put even a little bit of concealer on my eyelids, it starts creasing. So I don't prime my eyelids. I just apply the eyeshadow straight out. This is the eyeshadow palette that I'm using. I'm just going to put a bit of shimmer on the inner corner. Yeah, so basically I was Little Miss do everything. And on top of that, I'm working in the shop. I'm also serving the customers who come inside the shop. So anybody who wants to buy those perfumes, I need to have a knowledge of the prices and all the products, check the inventory, open and close the shop, clean the shop, all this because I was an operations coordinator. I wish I could apologize to my younger self for accepting that job. That was life. The job was pretty difficult. It was also very far from where I used to live. Actually, the job wasn't even near a matatu stage. I had to
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Get off the matatu and walk an extra 2 kilometers to get to the job site. So that was 2 kilometers going, 2 kilometers coming every day. Of course, there was an option of taking Andudi, but I'm young, I'm broke, I'm poor. There was no way I could afford that extra 50 bob to Panda, then do the to and from that place. And then I was living in one of those very far places whereby you have to go through town. So from that place, I walk 2 kilometers, I take a bus to town, and then take another bus to where I was living. Now, the first mistake that I made here was that I did not negotiate my contract at all. When I say I was hungry for a job, I was literally starving. I just needed to be employed. I just needed to have a place to say, okay, this is where I'm working. I want to put it down on my CV. I just needed the job. So when the contract was shown to me, I did not negotiate. I did not say anything back. I just said yes, yes, yes to everything. When do I sign? And that's how I ended up working there. I'm using the tiniest of beauty blenders to blend out this concealer. Now that I have highlighted the parts that need to be highlighted, I'm going to apply the foundation. This is a new foundation that I got from Sephora. I want to try it out and see if it works for my skin. Now, keeping in mind all these roles that I have, especially the personal assistant part, my God. So I used to have a company phone. If anybody calls any of the senior management, that is the CEO and the director, and they're not available, then they get an automatic message to call me. And with all my other roles, trying to be a salesperson in the shop and trying to find leads for the company, like consultancy projects and all that. And then some days of the week I used to work out of office. There used to be a remote office. They had a contract in a co-working space where they could use the co-working space. I think it was twice a week. So twice a week I used to go to the co-working space and meet the clients, now like those people who need additional advice, having lifestyle diseases, or just need to lose weight, improve their health. It was a hectic job, but I was trying my best to keep afloat because, like I said, I was young, I was eager to please, I was eager to improve my resume. I could have bent over backwards for literally anything.
What do you mean by that?
That is how I used to work, and it was so stressful. And then considering the distances that I had to travel to get to work and the hours, there was a salesperson in the shop as well, but they can only work so many hours. The shop is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you have to alternate. So we used to work together with that salesperson. The salesperson who was there when I joined had quit, so there was a time where I was spending a lot more time in the shop than the usual times. This foundation is not a bad match, but it's a bit okay. In person it looks a bit redder than my skin. I don't know how that translates in the camera, because in the viewfinder also it's giving that it's blending with my skin, but it's a bit different. We used to have weekly meetings whereby we sit and discuss strategies, because I'm an operations coordinator, so I need to strategize for the operations of the company. So we used to meet and discuss strategies of how to improve the company, how to get business, and then they do a review of your KPIs, if you've achieved your targets for the week, all that good stuff. One thing I appreciate about that lady is that, and this is a lesson that I was supposed to learn, but I was too busy focusing on all the things that were wrong that I missed that lesson. But sometimes when I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, I should have learned this then. She had that boss woman mentality, whereby I remember even in the weekly meetings, like if I had such a rough week, and then she would come and hound me about targets, and did you get this client, and have you contacted this person, have you managed to get us business? And I was like, look at all the other roles I'm doing, and then the moment you look like you're about to be emotional, if your voice just shakes a little bit, if your eyes just become glassy, she used to be like,
I'll stop this meeting here. I have a feeling that you are a bit too emotional and you will not be able to be objective with your communication. So once you're able to organize your thoughts and communicate properly and bring across your grievances properly, then I would come back and have this meeting with you. Otherwise, for now, have a nice day.
and she would leave. Oh, Jesus!
Oh my God. I can't do it.
That used to drive me up the wall. How could you just leave? I need to tell you all the things that are wrong with your company because you're never available. But I appreciate that mentality, because I came to learn, especially even when I moved here in Dubai and I moved to working in corporate, is that being emotional has no place in the workplace. Especially as a lady, you have to just be able to hold it together and put your points across if you want people to listen to you, or if you want any kind of respect. It sounds harsh, but it's the truth. It's the honest truth. There's no way you can just be emotional at work. When we are friends, we are family, we know each other. No, speak properly, speak clearly, say what you need to say clearly. So at that time, I had not picked up on that lesson properly. I just used to feel like she was trying to frustrate me. And then, you know, whenever she leaves a meeting with that tone type of, you're being too emotional right now, and then she leaves, I would cry. I would cry like my dog died. I would really cry. And then another part of me would be like, wait, what if she's right? What if you're just being too emotional? Can you just try and, you know, fix yourself? So I would try to go on YouTube. I would try to like find strategies. The problem is that there was no training. There was no proper training for the position. I've been working as a nutritionist. I go to people and I tell them what to eat and what foods are good and stuff like that. And then you call me and then tell me your personality is really good based on the survey that you did online, and you're able to do this job as an operations coordinator, and then you give me the position, and then there's no training. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I was just swimming and drowning.
So we don't have the capacity.
This is the problem of talking too much. I have forgotten even which step is supposed to follow. I will put the loose powder on the areas which I had highlighted with the concealer. That was a very steep learning curve from her in terms of you can't be emotional here, you can't bring your feelings here. So I tried my best. I tried to find strategies. Now the most important things I remember, there was one time we had a client, a big corporate client, and they wanted to do a consultancy. And when I say a big client, I'm talking about one of those multi-million companies in Kenya. I'm not the one who pulled that client in. She was the one who pulled the client in, and they were doing a conference for their management members, and they wanted to do sort of training for leadership and wellness, work-life balance and all that. And my boss was like, yeah, so I need you to prepare the training module. Prepare the training module for that training for this client. me, I had never been in management in any capacity until that point. So she told me, yeah, figure it out and prepare the training module. Can you imagine preparing a training module for managers in a big multi-million company? The things that happen in Nairobi, let me tell you, everybody's just winging it. Don't assume everyone knows what they're doing, because she's handing it over to me, a junior employee who's been working there for just a couple of months, to prepare a training module for a leadership training for management. I went online, Wikipedia, all the resources you can find, Google, YouTube, everything, and I put together a training module. Yes, I actually put it together, sent it to them. They read it, reviewed it, and said, yes, this training module is good. We'll work with it. So what was I doing during the training? As the operations coordinator who has prepared the training module, I had to go into the trainings. I used to sit at the back and take minutes while they're doing my leadership training. That happened. The client was happy. Kind of tells you how smart I am. But the client was actually happy with my training plan. They paid, and the lady gave me a bonus for that month, and I think that was the most amount of money she had ever given me. So she was not really good with money management for some reason, and even getting paid used to be late. Like, when I say late, I mean you get paid on like the 15th of the month. So that was the first time that she gave me a big check, and I was too happy that I didn't even question the amount. I didn't question anything. Anyway, after that client, again, dead silence in the market. I can't find clients. I am trying my best. I am meeting with executives from different companies, because basically what you're supposed to do, apart from just nutrition, there are a lot of things that affect your wellness as a whole. So it's your work, it's your relationships, it's your mentality, it's all this. So all this ties in to finding clients, especially corporate clients, who will have us come in and speak to their employees and help them and help boost their morale for work, help boost their general wellness so that they can be more productive. So that was the general look of things, and finding those clients was extremely hard. The shop location, as I mentioned, this shop is located like 2 kilometers away from the bus stage. So tell me how many clients were coming to walk into the shop to buy these items. On top of that, when I was going to meet with my one-on-one clients for the consultancy, I used to be informed to carry the products from the shop, now the perfumes and stuff, and go and hawk them. I was going through it. And then we used to have now these meetings every end of the month to talk about sales targets, things like that. And they used to be like, yeah, Castellin, so how much have you achieved this month? Which clients have you brought in this month? And I was just like, you guys, you are finishing me. I cannot do this. I tried to talk to the employer multiple times, just telling them I need a bit more help. I need either training, I need a bit more knowledge. She was like, there's a lot of resources online for free, Castellin, you should be more proactive. Go and check on YouTube and stuff like that and learn. YouTube was my work training. What is this? This is Kajal from Maybelline. You can imagine how frustrated the entire thing was. I used to complain to my friends and they were like, yeah, you remember we told you when you were starting the job. So it was not even really a shock. I just didn't know to what extreme things would go. On top of that, I was running errands too, printing documents, doing this, getting banners prepared, flyers, what. I used to be the running person to do that. Go to town, go to the printing place, just a lot. Eventually, I got very frustrated. I was finding it hard to find clients who we could sell these programs to. And I started feeling like, yeah, I want to go. They started getting more members on the team. So me and this other lady used to share our woes and our problems and all that. If you're wondering how I'm going to contour my face, because I didn't do any contouring, I use this eyeshadow palette to just add shadows where necessary. So basically here, because I don't have a concealer, here and then on my nose. I just take the darkest shade from the eyeshadow palette. Like I said, I'm not a makeup expert, so you will see a lot of things here that will make you question the rules of makeup. I eventually got more and more frustrated trying to communicate with these people about the situation, trying to communicate to the director. So one day we were having a team meeting, and again they're like, Castellin, you know, you have a very, and then the way this lady used to gaslight me, she used to be like, you have such a brilliant mind. The ideas that you come up with, Castellin, are just exceptional ideas, but you just don't apply yourself. These are the kind of conversations we used to have. And she used to tell me how I have such a brilliant mind, and I just need to, you know, direct my efforts to the right place and it will be fruitful. So we're having one of those meetings, and then it was now the new team getting darker, the sun shifted a bit, so the lighting has changed. So we're having one of those meetings whereby they were asking the teams where is the sales target. At this point, I think there was about a salesperson and another nutritionist that had been hired. And so we're having one of those meetings and they were asking me how come we're not seeing results. And I was just listening and listening and listening and listening and just absorbing everything they were saying. And at some point the lady was like, aren't you going to say anything for yourself? And the director was like, yeah, you guys, we cannot be working like this. You people, you're not giving us full effort, you're not giving us 100%. You're not giving your 100%. You cannot do this like this. It cannot work like this. And then they were like, yeah, Castellin, say something, come up with ideas. Why are you not saying anything? And you know what I said? Looked at him, it was a guy, the director. I looked at him in the face and I said, actually, yeah, you're right. Don't have any ideas. I quit.
Yeah, double homicide.
And the way his jaw dropped, it was so confusing. My colleagues were just like, did you just say that? He was like, did I hear that correctly? What did you say? I said, yeah, I quit. I can't do it. I don't have ideas. I had reached my ceiling of absorbing. I had reached my ceiling of everything. And I was just like, I quit. And they were like, okay, that's unexpected. Do this. Step out. I'm just putting a bit of bronzer. So I just step out. Let us finish our meeting and then we will discuss with you. So they finished the meeting with the rest of the team while I was sitting outside, panicking, thinking, what have you done, you stupid idiots?
Why would you say that?
Fix it.
Why would you say that?
What have you done? Why did you say that? Why didn't you just keep it together? I was really panicking. I felt like I had made a big mistake. But then one thing about me is I will stand on business. I didn't tell them. I was just outside there panicking, tears in my eyes, feeling like I was so confused, so frustrated with this job. Yeah, they finished the meeting and then they came outside. So they started asking me, where did this come from? How can you just today on a random Tuesday morning just decide to tell us I quit? How? Where did this come from? And I started explaining to them. I said I have complained about so many things that are not working properly. This company structure is not working properly, and I keep on telling you people that we need to improve on this, because also in my research online about the different things that they wanted me to do, I realized there were so many things that were wrong that could be fixed actually without involving more manpower or without involving new employees. But just between us, if we could communicate better, if we could work better together, could be fixed. And I had tried to tell them about these things and they were not responding. So I was like, yeah, I'm out. I think I put too much on this side. So what do? We put too much on the other side also. Now it's too much on both sides. So they were like, there's no way. You need to figure out whatever is going on in your brain and then communicate properly. And I was just like, I can't, I'm done. I've done my best and I cannot proceed like this anymore. Please just let me go. And then they went aside together and talked a bit, and then they came back to me and said, we have an offer. I was like, offer? I never knew of such things. I know if you leave the job, you leave the job. Nowadays, I know that some people even threaten to quit so that they can renegotiate their contracts or get more money from the employer or anything like that. But at that time, I didn't know. So they came back to me with an offer. They said, okay, fine, you don't have to be on our payroll. We can have you as a consultant, because as I mentioned, I was seeing clients. They suggested that because those are their clients, their client book. And I feel like maybe they thought that if I left, I would poach those individual clients. And I know these clients, I have their contacts. Maybe I would poach their clients. So they suggested that they would have me on consultancy basis, meaning clients would call them and book, and then they would call me once they have booked an appointment to go and consult with the client. And then you know how much they were offering for the consultancy per session. A session is usually 1 hour, 1.5 hours, or sometimes it goes longer. It just depends on what the client needs. So you can imagine, I don't know how much time even I will be committing to these clients, because it's not just an in and out thing. And they're offering me 500 bob per session.
Absolutely not.
Just find out the consultation rate and come and tell me if I was supposed to be getting 500 bob per session per client as a registered professional, board certified. And you called me back here just to laugh at me, so let me go. So they said fine. They told me, anyway, you can't just walk out the way you feel. This is not your grandmother's kitchen. You have to serve a notice period. So we assume today you have notified us. 30 days to go. Checkmate. Can you imagine? I had to go to that office for another 30 days to finish my notice period. Imagine after all that drama, we're looking at each other in the eye for another 30 days. It was the longest 30 days of my life. I didn't want to leave on an animosity note, so I served the notice period. And then when it came time to do the clearance, so of course you have to return the work phone, anything that you have that belongs to them. They're like, yeah, so we'll give you the money on this date. Nothing. I followed up with them for another 2 weeks to get my last salary. It was hectic to follow up with them. So I wrote one of those polite but stern emails telling them, I need my money. Please pay me. This was in January. I served my notice period in December. I was supposed to get out of that place by January 1st. And I ended up getting paid my last salary in February. By that time, I had already known I was going to come to Dubai because I came to Dubai on February 16th. So once I had booked the tickets to come to Dubai, I just kept on hounding them, telling them I'm leaving the country. They're like, yeah, you know, we have processes and procedures. We have some documents too. So I hounded them and hounded them and hounded them until finally they agreed to pay me. And then once they paid me, I was on the next flight to Dubai. For the lips, I'm just going to line my lips with the Davis pencil, and then I will put on this lip gloss. I don't know what is the status of the company today. I have not followed up. Just gave them back everything I owed them. Oh, the company phone fell down and the screen broke, and they charged me for the screen. They charged me for the cracked screen for the phone. Let me put my mascara, and then I can come back and tell you the conclusions of my learnings. So in conclusions, this is something that is very difficult for me to tell to younger people who are just entering the job field, but don't be so desperate that it clouds your mind over what kind of contract you're getting yourself into. Because at the end of the day, I did sign a contract. I read all those things. The job description was vague, and it was open to interpretation, their interpretation and my interpretation, and I still signed it. So there was no way I could say like they duped me or anything like that. And then if you're entering into the corporate world, you need to have a backbone. This is something that I have struggled with until now. I'm spineless. When I tell you I'm afraid of people, I am afraid of people. I'm afraid of stepping on toes. I'm afraid of causing commotion. I'm afraid of all of those things. And those are things that will not get you anywhere when it comes to the corporate field. Speaking up, negotiating, retaliating at times if required is very necessary. And I did not have any of that. If I would have had some belief in myself that I'm worth getting paid more, maybe I would have negotiated my contract better. Maybe I would have, highlighted my concerns in the contract, like what does this mean? What does this mean exactly? Maybe I would have done that. Also, learn about contracts. Please go and do some research and find out work contracts and how they look and what is supposed to be in there and what is not, and what you can negotiate and what you can't. I had no idea of that information. I was young and foolish, and I was just like, give me the job, show me the dotted line, let me sign. And now this is the part where it was a bit hurtful to me because I didn't want to accept this part, but it was not all the employer's fault. Those things that she was telling me, you can do this, you're a smart person, you can figure it out. At that time, I was so exhausted and worried, and all these things that I didn't apply myself to learn those things. Eventually, I learned them actually, because in my other employments after that, I remember I used to do something, and then I remember I went through something similar previously in that place, but I didn't apply this frame of thought. So not everything is the employer's fault. If I would have done my research properly before entering the contract, if I had utilized my brain a little bit more, maybe I would have had a better time at that place. And maybe I even quit prematurely. No, I quit right on time, because after I quit, it took a month and I was out of Nairobi. So maybe that was the reason why I needed to quit at that time.
Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
By the way, at the time when I was quitting, I didn't know that I was going to come to UAE and stay here for all these years. I had no idea. So learn from that what you will, but that is my story of this crazy job. that I did that gave me so many important lessons in life, and I carry them through. I'm grateful to my employer for that experience. No ill feeling towards them. I would love to see them succeed. It was a very nice structure for a company, very nice way to make money, by the way. And I hope the makeup turned out good, even though, you know, we have improvised a few things here and there. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. And if you haven't subscribed, funny you didn't enjoy the story, just subscribe. It's free. It's completely free. We have fun here. So that's it for this video, and I will see you on the next one very soon. Bye.